back to LegalEdge YouTube channel. This is Urvashi, and today we are going to discuss 5 mistakes that you might be making as an NLSAT aspirant. And if you're doing that, stop now because this might cost you a seat in NLSIU. Yes. So let's start discussing with the mistakes. And the very first mistake that the most aspirants as of now are making is of time management. We have seen a lot of queries where students tell us that they don't have the time by the very end to complete the answers. That happens because you are not doing proper time management. Okay, so for every part there should be a particular time assigned, and if you exceed that time you should stop and move to the other section. Right now what is happening is we are either giving too much time to part A and there's not much time to left for the part B. If you are doing that, stop now. And how to do that is basically fixing a time limit for each of the sections. As I've mentioned here, you can give around 60 to 65 minutes for your part A. That's it. Then you move forward. You can give around 10 to 12 minutes to every short answer that you have, around 25 to 30 minutes for your analytical essay. Because what happens is you would remember in your school as well. Okay, when you used to write the answers, the first few answers were very structured and in a very good handwriting. But by the end of it, when we reached to the very last, our handwriting was somewhat this, and the thoughts were not very structured. That would go in school, but right now we are preparing for a competitive exam. Hence, we need to take in consideration that we are giving proper time to each of the sections and is writing the answers with full clarity and conceptual understanding. So it is important that if you're not doing proper time management, start now. What you can do is right now, if you're too far away from the time management times that I mentioned here, then put a timer. Analyze your maximum time that you take for each of these sections. So suppose if you take around 20 to 12 minutes, instead of 10 to 12 minutes, if you take around 20 minutes for the short answer questions, then what you do is listen the time by 2 to 3 minutes or challenge the time by 2 to 3 minutes, and then putting a timer of a little less time, you can start your practice. Slowly and slowly challenge yourself and come to this time limit. That can be done through test and through mock test, right? Moving towards this second mistake. Second mistake is all related to part B. Not preparing for the GK and rushing through reading comprehension. Not preparing for GK as in what you're doing right now. If you're not preparing for GK, it could be very harmful for us in two ways. One is that by the end of it, you would have too much to revise for GK. And if that happens, we won't be able to know that, okay, what to revise and what not to revise. Okay. Secondly, we won't have that list of important facts that are important for your exam. But if you start doing your GK now, you would have proper notes made that you would need to revise. And maybe you would have revised one time those notes already, right? So that would put an advantage to whatever preparation you're doing right now. Apart from that, secondly, these GK notes would also help you in your essay writing, multiple choice questions, and basically to remember that what to mark, right? These important dates. Suppose recently a BRICS meeting was held. Like, who are the members of this BRICS organization? Right now, if you don't remember that, maybe we need to start doing GK practice. Okay, so writing down those important facts, revising them at least twice will help you remember them in the very first half of your examination, that is your multiple choice question. Okay, so if you're not preparing for GK, start now. Secondly, rushing through reading comprehension. So basically what we do is, usually because there's a crunch of time, we go through reading comprehension very fast. We read between the lines, we skip the lines. When that happens, usually we don't have a proper idea of what author or narrator was trying to tell in that passage. And once we do not know that, maybe some of the answer which exactly ask you the similar kind of questions, you wouldn't be able to mark them correct or with accuracy or with surety. And if that happens, there would be uncertainty to those questions. So what we need to do right now is start practicing reading comprehension through understanding of the passage and narrator's tone, right? Secondly, you can also practice that through editorials. When you read editorials in newspaper, understand what is the main meaning of what author is trying to say, what main idea author is putting forward, what are the negative and positives to that, or is he negating the main argument, is he putting positive points to that. You need to identify that what is happening there. Once you do that and you practice for certain editorials, slowly and slowly you'll see that in reading comprehension also you're able to identify all these things and back your answers with accuracy. So this is all for part A. Now moving towards part B. Part B is neglecting part B altogether. If you're not practicing part B, then this might be your biggest mistake right now. Because if you think that, what is it? It's an analytical essay that I would be able to write very freely, right? but it might not happen that way. For to test this, what you can do is today itself start writing down, pick a topic. You can pick a topic from our Telegram channel as well. There's a challenge going on where we give you an essay topic and you give us the answers and we provide you feedback on that. So if you do not have a topic in your mind right now, what you can go towards the Telegram channel of LegalEdge and pick that topic. Start writing essay on that and give it to your teachers or mentors. Identify what do they think, or analyze your own essay by yourself and see which facts do you missed. Was it structured or not? You will be able to identify that there were certain things that you missed during writing of the essay, and that is your improvement point. Those are the points which will help you make your essay 100% perfect. So not 100%, I meant say maybe 95% perfect, right? So working on our weaknesses till the final examination arrives, it's very important. Moving towards second, what exactly we can do to improve this if we have not read enough, if we have neglected part B. So start writing your at least one essay and two problem based questions every week. This will help you practice it daily, and this will become your muscle memory by the end of your preparation, and when the examination finally comes, it will help you deal with the examinations in a proper way. Similarly, get a feedback on clarity, how logical your answer were, what were your arguments, what were they put in correctly or not. Once you get that feedback, start working on that and implement it in the next essay that you are going to write for your preparation. Moving forward, the fourth mistake, skipping mocks and analysis, a very very important mistakes that you might be making. And this, I can't emphasize enough that how helpful would that be if you do a proper mock test which includes all the section all together. You're managing those times with all the section, you are doing it all together at once and seeing what your exact weaknesses and your strengths are. Then only when you'll understand those mistakes, you will be able to improve. Otherwise, these might be the mistakes that you might repeat in the final examination itself. And if that happens, that will be a problem. So what we will do is this mock test will give you an opportunity to identify maybe hundreds of mistakes that you might be doing in the NLSAT examination coming forward. All those mistakes would be kept in a mock analysis notebook that you will make, and you can revise them just before your examination, each of the mock tests that you're attempting. What will this do? It will basically make you understand कि okay, these are the silly mistakes that I do. These are the common mistakes जो मैं repeat करता हूँ हर mock में, and I need to stop doing these mistakes. I'll remember those mistakes during my mock test attempts and will not repeat them, because doing new mistakes is alright, but repeating the old ones, that might not be right. Okay, so that is the second thing. Now the second part is analysis, right? In noting down the mistakes. So just attempting the paper won't serve the purpose. If you want to improve in the paper, what you need to do is analyze all those common and uncommon mistakes that you're making. If you're weak in a particular genre and you're not able to do right questions of that reading comprehension, or suppose there is a particular question type that you're making mistakes on, ऐसे में you always find कि मैं हमेशा weak रहता हूँ ऐसे में, I'm not able to do it properly. So identify those things and write them in that mock analysis notebook, and next एक week तक work on those topics only. ठीक है? Once you work on those topics, see if you have improved in the next mock test that you attempt or not. This is the process that helps you to get better at whatever preparation you are at right now, and to improve and get to a point where preparation is going correctly or not. So what you can do right now is you can start with begin taking full length mocks. At least I'm telling you, you can start now as well, because the scope of improvement is more. You can do it right now as well, but at least start with 3-4 months before your NLSAT examination. And the ones who are doing it right now might be already understanding that what mistakes they're making and might be improving on that. Okay, so it's important to take mock test and analyze them. Fifth and the last mistakes that we make, one is that we ignore reading and ignore the reading and revision part. Okay, so reading, how basically if we don't read enough, you won't be able to understand the different genres mentioned in the reading comprehension. Secondly, if you're not reading enough, it might be difficult to uh, write your essay as well, because the more you read, the better information you get. You're able to identify what could be strong points, how to analyze them by getting a proper understanding of the topic. Suppose, for example, if they're international affairs, अगर international affairs के बारे में there's countries, there politics involved, and if you're reading just one article about it, do you think you'll get knowledge of all the countries that are whatever politics is going in the global world? You won't, right? Because you would need to read 3 to 4 articles at least to understand what are the basics that is going on, and regular reading would help you familiarize with that topic, right? So if you're not doing reading right now, this might be a mistake that you might be making, and you need to stop now. Okay. Apart from that, ignoring past mistakes and repeating them again. So very important revision part. First is whatever you write, whatever notes you make, or whatever notes of the mistakes you're making in your mock analysis notebook, all of these mistakes needs to be revised once at least. Okay. Once you revise them, but how do you revise them? You won't remember them, right? After giving every mock test, write at least 5 mistakes that you made and won't repeat in the next mock, because you would be improving them throughout this week. Once you write and all the mistakes that you made during this particular mock test, okay? Once you write that, revise that on the day of the next mock and keep revising them till your final examination. What this will do is make you remember those mistakes so that you don't repeat again. So these were the 5 mistakes that you might be making as an NLSAT aspirant, and if you're doing that, you need to stop now. So thank you for the session and listening to me patiently. Do, if you like the session, do like the video, do subscribe to the channel, because we might be coming with a lot more update videos and tips and tricks videos that you will need. Also, do mention your time limit of how much time you are spending on each of the sections, or any of the mistakes that you find that you are also making. I will read through those mistakes and see you in the next video.